Well, our next guest isn't just responsible for writing and performing some of the catchiest songs of the 70s and 80s, like this absolute ripper. Have a listen.
He's also the brains behind one of the biggest events ever, Live Aid. And as the event celebrates its 40th anniversary, Bob Geldof is here in Australia to announce his next big project. So Bob Geldof joins us live. G'day.
Hi, guys.
You say this space of morning TV and breakfast TV isn't unfamiliar to you, is it?
No, I had a production company and we did breakfast TV for about 10 years in the UK. The interesting thing about Australian breakfast TV is when you come in, you ask where you sit. They say, sit on the crack.
That's right.
which is what we all do, actually. Most of the time.
It does come naturally.
We might crack to crack television.
Literally.
At least you know your place, Bob.
Yeah, thanks very much.
That amazing song, I Don't Like Mondays. How do you feel when you sit on the crack and the co-host of the morning show is singing along? Is that embarrassing to you? Did you feel sad?
It's embarrassing that you're not singing.
Thank you, Sir Bob.
I just want to let Kylie take the lead on that. But amazing that there's so much love for those songs. They've really stood the test of time, haven't they?
You don't expect them to. You don't expect yourself to last the test of time. But there's a part of you that wishes that, you know, some other songs were just as famous, but there's a part of you very glad that is. And there, you know, if you're going to be remembered for any of your tunes, that's not a bad one to be remembered for, because it was about something and it still resonates. And if you hear it on radio, it still sort of works as a tune. So, yeah, of course, I'm glad. But on the other hand, I have written about 300 other classics. So, you know, what can I say?
So that was 50 years of Boomtown Rats, but then Live Aid, bringing up its 40th anniversary next year.
Yeah.
And when you... Live Aid and you are synonymous. You can't speak about one without the other. How much pride is there in that event?
So I do it every day. This is the thing. Band Aid works every day. I wake up to 10 or 11 mails this morning at about 6. And it's whatever new horror we have to deal with in that part of the world. Money still comes in. Live Aid in today's money raised about $480 million in 24 hours. So we still get money now from YouTube, people watching Live Aid and Live 8, which happened 20 years later, which was even bigger, really. So, yes, but I mean, again, sort of, it's nice that people remember the tunes, but you don't expect them to remember a concert or for it to be so vivid in their lives. And the place has gone nuts, you know. I think the BBC are doing 3 1-hours, CNN in America 4:45 minutes. Everyone's re-showing the concert, and next week is the anniversary of the song that started all, the Band Aid song, Do They Know It's Christmas, which, of course, forget your Mariah Carey sketch. Mariah, you're gone. You're out. You know. But I'll tell you what's interesting about this. There's 3 official Band Aid records, 84, 04 and 14, so 3 generations. I thought, what do we do? So I asked Trevor Horn, the producer, could he put all 3 together on the one track, but you have a very young Sting singing with a very young Ed Sheeran. You have a very young Boy George singing with a very young Sam Smith. You've got a very young Bono singing with a very young Harry Styles. A dead George Michael singing with a dead Sinead O'Connor. Chris Martin, who isn't falling through the floor.
When he's not falling.
So they're all on this, and it is seriously, so it's not me punting because there's nothing in it. It's wonderful. It's really incredible what's done, and the video, you just blow you away from it, so that's good. But, you know, it's a life, that's all, and there's 1,000 stories, and I need a break from that stuff next year. The Rats, double albums, tours, festivals, Live Aid, TV, there's a musical just for one day, it's called, and I really need to stand back and get perspective on it, so that's why I'll do this one-man show. I want to be by myself. I want to tell the stories. I want to do the tunes you're talking about. I want people to shout questions at me, which I may or may not answer, and, you know, just do it.
So is there a time where you think you'd rather sit on the crack and not talk about Live Aid? Is that a reality in your life? Given that every day you're getting emails, every day you're getting asked about it still.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not asked about stuff every day. I'm here because I want to talk about the one-man show, which interests me. But to your point, it's like your lives. I mean, you know, my job is music, but even if it wasn't my job, that's what I'd want to do and still do it. So you're all the time engaged in it, but the political stuff, the activisty stuff, doesn't stop because it can't. And, you know, there's 600 million people hungry tonight. There's panicked women and their exhausted children trying to get over the borders of Sudan, etc. And we're still there, and people are still kind. And if we can get to them, good.
You're talking about this, it's called An Evening with Bob Geldof.
I've changed it.
Oh, you've changed it. What is it called now?
Life WTF.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because that's what it's like.
I know what WTF
Are you kidding me?
stands for.
I come into bloody Sydney, I'm exhausted, and you say, sit in the crack, you know?
Can that be the name of your next show? Bob Geldof on the crack.
Is that seriously what you've changed it to, or are you just having a glint?
No, seriously.
Okay, you seriously changed it to Life WTF with Bob Geldof.
Yeah.
Okay, terrific. You said that they... Is he having a go at me? I don't know. So you say that sometimes you want people to yell questions to you. Which questions do you wish you would get asked sometimes?
Like you get thrown completely, and so you have to recalibrate, you know. I mean, we're doing show busy things here. I'm doing my job, you're doing yours. We're used to it. And, you know, you go off and answer the way you want to. And these things like... like this morning I did an interview and somebody wanted me to talk about meeting the Beatles when I was 11, which I did. And, you know, you kind of forget about that, but when you go through it in your own mind, you go, that's mad. And then then in my life, this kid from Dunleary, County Dublin, gets to know the Beatles, you know, like as sort of having a drink with them, you know. And, I mean, I guess it's, if you're in the business, that's kind of normal, but... you know, there was a long clip of Elton there with Bob Geldof written underneath. But I know those people, and they were very, very important to me when I was a boy, you know, because my mum died when I was 6 or 7. My dad had to go away. The only job he could get was leaving the house on Monday, coming back on Friday. So me and my sister we didn't have money, so we were left to our own devices. So these people singing about this other universe, these other possibilities, change, that things don't change the same, became critical to me, you know, critical. So, you know, music goes beyond simply a tune for me.
Yeah, sure.
And it was, if you take it that way, it's fairly inevitable I'd end up in music, and fairly inevitable I'd end up using music to talk about the stuff that bothered me.
Good.
We're sorry our researchers didn't get back to the Beatles. They've got a 50-year cut-off. That's as far back as the searchers can go with our team. So we got to there. Now, you're working with the amazing Oz Harvest Unite to Feed Australia concert. The amazing Ronnie Khan, we all know and love her. She's changing.
I've yet to meet her, but you know...
You are going to love her.
She's a legend, obviously.
Yeah. But this is something you're very passionate about on a global, huge scale. It's going to be nice to make a difference.
It is, because it's so unnecessary. I mean, you know, that people listening at home go, what do you mean? You don't die of hunger. You don't die of lack of food, you die of poverty. If people are hungry in Australia, the government get in food and you go to the supermarket and get it. There's nothing. You have to conceive of nothing, and so they die. And it's an economic problem. And if you're dealing with an economic problem, then you must engage with the agents of change in our world, whether you like it or not. Those agents of change are politicians. So that's what you're dealing with. But since the 80s, since Live Aid and stuff, the hunger figures have come down a lot. But, you know, with, you know, things like climate change, the UN saying that we're on course for a 5.1% temperature increase, that's the end of Australia if that happens. I mean, seriously. And so the carnage that causes in vulnerable countries and towards people. I mean, look, I walk among it, I've smelt it, I hear it. It's awful. It's awful. And then you come on the breakfast show, and, you know, the morning show, and you sit in the crack and you talk about other stuff. But it's nonetheless valid talking about that stuff. You know, in this life, it is all one thing. You know, I suddenly go into serious mode and that sort of stuff, but it's one thing.
Amazing to meet you this morning. We're both
Thanks,
a little
man.
bit starstruck. You can now release your crack from our crack, and it's been good to see you.
And he's talked good crack too.
Yeah.
It's
I see what you did there. So pro.
It's an Irishman. There was an opportunity.
Yeah.
Begging.
Thanks, guys.
Great
Tickets
to
for an
see you.
evening with Bob Geldof or Life WTF. I'm not sure if he's still having a go at me. Go on sale this Thursday at 1 p.m. We're going to put all the ticket
I thought it was
details
12.
over on. Sorry?
On Tesla or something. Is it Tesla or Telstra? What is it? 12 o'clock.
Telstra.
12 o'clock. Oh, yeah, OK.
Yes, yeah, Tesla's the car, yeah. TheMorningshow.com.
Tesla's a car. Thanks for filling me
Yeah,
in.
welcome to Australia. Is there anything else you want to know about any other global events?
Telstra, yeah.
Harris and Trump. Is there anything else you need to know on you?
Thank you.
God, don't.
Oh, no, don't get him started. He'll be here for 3 hours if we get on to that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to drive home in my Telstra. I am. So good to see you.